Oh, yeah. Welcome in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. I am the voice of the voiceless. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. And here on the Clay Edwards Show, we are so ready for July to get here. Good Lord. I am tired of seeing all this pride crap. Everywhere I turn. Pride this, gay that, trans this. So I figure while they shove all this stuff down our throats, we will ridicule them and shame them and throw it back in theirs, because this crap has gotten out of hand. To say the least. To say the least, this has gotten out of hand. And we're going to talk about that today. I got some funny stuff that I want to share with y'all concerning that, because like I said, we are going to laugh about it. I got to see my billboard again on the way in this morning. I actually pulled over and took a picture of it. It's so crisp that it almost looks photoshopped. I kind of jokingly said, I posted a picture of it to Facebook. I said, haters will say it's photoshopped. But if you want to see the Clay Edwards Show billboard there in front of Bass Pro on I-20, there's a picture of it on the Save Jackson Instagram and Facebook pages. That's at SaveJXN. Pretty cool stuff, in my opinion. And I think I may have said this on the show the other day. The billboard before it was the one promoting the big Poison concert July 3rd at the Pearl River Resort. So I saw that, and then mine was right after it. And I was like, man, somebody tell 14 or 13-year-old Clay that he just shared a billboard with his favorite band. It only took 30 plus years to happen. But it did finally happen. Never give up on your dreams, my friends. Never give up on your dreams. Hey, today there is a big election today. Get out and vote. I'm not going to tell y'all who to vote for. It's not my job. We have had Michael Cassidy on the station no less than a dozen times. I do think he's a great guy. I like Mr. Griffin. And Mr. Guest is a very nice man too, but the January 6th stuff is a problem for me. So that's just, with all that said, do as you will. On the Mac Hike of Flowwood phone line, if you want to reach us, 601-879-0002 is the phone number. The Guns and Gear text line. That's Guns and Gear, the home of no limit ammo. Go buy as much as you want. No limits, no per customer limit, none of that nonsense. Right out there at Guns and Gear in Gluckstadt. 769-241-1944 is the text line. And we already got a text in this morning. It said, what did it say here? My screen locked on my phone. It said a positive solution is voting Republican. Well, the positive solutions only people think blaming everything on racism and bigotry and hate is the solution. So they would beg to differ. And speaking of the phone, the Mac Hike of Flowwood phone line, we've got a caller already. Hey, good morning, caller. You're on there.
Good morning, Clay. Just want to let you know that I, too, saw Jackson's #1 podcast billboard this morning.
I do appreciate it.
It was a wonderful Photoshop that you did. Ha, ha, ha. But wanted to say that I did make freedom count today and went out and voted. So thank you for putting that out there, making sure everybody gets out and voting, and appreciate for what you do, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to vote myself. So looking forward to getting to pull the lever in Rankin County for the first time in my life.
All right, man. Have a great day.
All right, brother. You too.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick, not to wax poetically about having a billboard, but I do want to say this. None of that would be possible without you guys supporting the show. It's my name on there, but that's y'all's billboard. Because none of this would be possible without your support of these sponsors, without the sponsors' support of me, without WYAB's giving us the platform to do this, without my co-host, my fellow host here at the station, helping me along the way and helping me get better at doing this. None of that would be possible without every moving part. I would be able to afford a billboard, not cheap. So I don't know that I can necessarily afford it, but I'm doing it because I think it's important for y'all to know that we're here for the fight. We are here for the fight. And that, I'm telling y'all, that billboard in Pearl, that one is significant to me. That is the one where they had the Trans Kids Belong billboard. right in front of Bass Pro on I-20 in Pearl, Mississippi, the Pearl of the South. They put a Trans Kids Belong billboard. I had a picture of that went viral that somebody has sent me, that I posted it to my Facebook, and it got me banned on Facebook for simply having a conversation in the comments about we don't want that kind of nonsense in Pearl, Mississippi, or where Central Mississippi. So to have a billboard there is significant because that is the front lines of the culture war, to quote my buddy Mr. Jameson Haygood. That's where you want to be. People ask me, well, Clay, why do you still have Twitter? Why'd you get back on Facebook after you said you wouldn't? Because after I prayed about it and thought about it, you're not doing any good going to just places like Truth Social and Getter and all the alternative sites. You got to have them. I love them. It's no knock. But if you're going to be an active participant in the culture war, you got to be where the battle is being had. So the battle is being fought, not had, fought. Battle is being fought on the front lines on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok. I'm telling you, that's why I started doing TikTok videos, because that's where our kids are at. And if you don't have TikTok and you went on there and you saw some of the shenanigans that are being pushed into our children's faces, you would be disgusted. You would take your child's phone and you would smash it into a billion pieces. That they are penetrating our child's minds with this trans garbage. So, anyway, you got to go to where the fight is at. That's all I'm saying. Let's see here. I think we got some text on the Guns and Gear text line. Buddy of mine says Michael Cassidy got his vote. Let's see here. Yep. Good stuff there. Thank you for getting out and voting this morning and doing your part. Let's see. Hey, yesterday, I owe a massive apology here. Y'all know I have a no apology rule. I say what I say, and apologizing is not what I do. It's just you roll on to fight another day. But this is about something I did not say yesterday, and I owe a massive apology here to our greatest generation. D-Day came and went yesterday, and I did not mention anything about it on my radio show. And I owe a sincere apology and a debt of gratitude to all of those. It was the 78th anniversary of D-Day. So we owe a huge debt of gratitude to all of the service men and women, particularly men, I believe. I don't guess any women charged the beach there. But I saw a tweet yesterday, kind of on this, is what made me think about it. Some liberal said something about putting all the cis males. I want to pull it up here. I know this ain't great radio, pulling up something while I'm on the radio, but I want to make sure I get it right. Here it is. This was a tweet. It said, petition to put cis white dudes on a barge and float them out to sea. And YAF, what's that, Young American Freedom? Anyway, they tweeted back, yeah, we did that in 1944 and saved the world, and showed a picture of the U-boats unloading on the beaches of, is that Normandy? In France there. I was like, man, you know what? Nailed it. When you need to save the world, put some, and I ain't gonna say just cis white dudes, because I want my black and brown brothers and sisters with me too, or brothers. Put some cis dudes on a boat, and we'll go get some stuff done. We will get some. It'll be the best boat ever. It'll be huge, greatest boat ever. You know, there's going to be a time where we're going to have to save the world again, and I feel like we're getting to that. We're getting to that point. So if y'all don't follow me on Instagram, on the Save Jackson Instagram, it is, as I say, the front lines of the culture war. A lot of people on there hate me. They because I have a lot of young Democrat followers for some reason. I don't know why they follow stuff they hate. I try to avoid things I hate, but to each their own. And they argue with me about everything, especially the black guys here locally. They take it personal. I get it. But we had a bonding moment the other day, me and a couple of the guys on there that always give me hell. I don't know if y'all are aware or not, but the Carolina Panthers, the NFL football team, have a transgender black cheerleader now. You know, some things you say out loud, and when the words leave your mouth, you're like, I can't believe I just uttered a sentence with that combination in it. That just happened. The Carolina Panthers, Saints fans, I know this will give you something else to hate the Panthers about, now have a trans cheerleader. So I posted something on Instagram about it. I was like, just throw the whole NFL away. Look, I can count on one hand how many games I've watched since the George Floyd fiasco. And they decided to go super duper woke and make everybody kneel and, you know, tell us what racist bigots we are for supporting the product that's made them all millionaires. I digress. So I post this, and a couple of the black dudes that always give me hell commented, I disagree with everything you say, but we're on the same page on this. That gave me some hope. That's one of the things that me and Thomas agree about when he calls in here and argues with me. It gives me hope that we can at least agree that this is crazy. There's no sugarcoating that. So, but hey, here's the thing. When you go into that voting booth, you need to pull the lever that doesn't represent being crazy and co-signing on all this stuff. You know, men got to stand up and lead and be men. I mean, you were born with a wang. Act like it. That's all. Just act like it. You know, just being a man and just being yourself. I promise. Once you do it, it's the easiest thing you'll ever do. You know, I walk with my head high everywhere I walk into. I don't look down at the floor. I look straight ahead. I might not can hear. If you say Clay when I'm walking through somewhere, I'm deaf as I don't know, like Helen Keller around here. Just about blind too. But I look straight ahead. I may run into stuff. But man, just make eye contact with people. Have a firm handshake. Be resolute. Have some things you stand for. Don't let a party or an agenda tell you how you're supposed to feel about something. You know, have some core values. I promise, you never have to change your story if you stand firm and have some core values. And that's just important to me. All right, look, man, we're going to take a break real quick. Lauren Smith with Let Mississippi Vote and Prime is going to join us here in the next segment or two. We've got Hardy Case coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Get up to date on what's going on with the medical marijuana stuff and just chop it up with Hardy and see what's going on. And look, I got some more stuff I want to talk about here. You're listening to the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB.
America, you love your country, so it goes without saying that you also love your ride. And Auto Armor in Flowood wants to help you make that ride shine. Auto Armor in Flowood is Central Mississippi's premier automotive detail and ceramic coating shop, servicing any type of vehicle, including ATVs, boats, and more. Need just a quick detail or paint correction? Auto Armor can make it happen. But if you're set to hit the road in a blaze of glory while flying the old red, white, and blue, Auto Armor should be your first and last call to give your ride a full ceramic coating. Auto Armor is locally owned and operated by the loud and proud American patriot Clay Edwards. Auto Armor also proudly backs the blue, all military and first responders. So don't forget to ask for your discount. Call 601-260-0858. 601-260-0858. Or stop in today, fellow Americans. Auto Armor is located at 4394 Mangum Drive in Flowood. Online at AutoArmorMS.com. Auto Armor, unapologetically American.
Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on 103.9 WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com and on the TuneIn app. And look, if you miss any of this show, if you miss any show, you can go back, go to ClayEdwardsShow.com, or if you have an iPhone, pull up that little podcast button. It's a little purple button on your iPhones. Hit that purple button, hit that search bar, type Clay Edwards Show in. Hit the subscribe button, and boom, there's the podcast. There's over 300. Today's the 290th episode, by the way. But there's well over 300 episodes on there because I have extras and stuff that's not on the radio and this, that, and the other. Go check it out. What's it going to hurt you? And then that way, if you miss any of this, you can go listen to the podcast. And boom, you're caught up. You can share it with friends. And be, hey man, that crazy thing that guy said on the radio, here it is. And look, if you have Google, it's on Google Podcast too. So if you have a Android, go to the podcast button. It's there. All you got to do is just hit the search bar, hit subscribe. You'll get an update every day when I upload the show. Mike Madison has his on there also, the Mike Madison Show, and Radio Strongman. Kim Wade, his is on there too. So if you miss any of those shows, boom, they're there. We're going to club Jameson upside the head and get him podcasting too here at some point because, you know, these guys have great messages and people deserve to hear them. But it may be outside the listening area or at work or whatever the case may be. Whenever you may miss it live, we want to bring the message to you as well. All right. This segment's brought to you by, me over at Auto Armor. How about that? Got my billboard out there and got my other business. I should probably be advertising the other business, but neither here nor there. I'll do that here. Auto Armor, right out there in Flowood, 4394 Mangum Drive. Everybody's keeping their vehicles just a little bit longer nowadays. You know, new car prices have gotten high. It's no secret. Used car prices have gotten high. It's harder to get stuff. And a lot of people have just made the decision, hey, I'm just going to hold on to my vehicle and see how all this shakes out. Unfortunately, I don't know that it's going to shake out for us. So, you know, whether you trade now or trade later, I think you're still going to be paying, you know, more money. I think that's here to stay. But with that said, a lot of people are just saying, hey, I'm opting out of the market for a little while. I'm going to hold on to my car 2 or 3 more years. Look, man, bring it by Auto Armor. Let me refurbish the paint for you. We call it paint correction. We'll have that old faded clear coat looking like glass again. We don't have to do the high-end ceramic coating on it. We can just do a 12-month ceramic coating, which is 100 times better than wax. It's going to give you car protection. It's going to add value to it. I mean, you go from a faded paint job and scratched up to what looks like a brand new paint job, your car is going to be worth more money. It just is what it is. You're going to feel better about it. You're going to want to keep it clean. And hey, we don't just do cars. We do boats, jet skis. You know, I heard the other day that it's really, really hard to get a new boat right now because the resin they use to make the boats is supply chain issues. So look, check me out online, autoarmorms.com. I was on Facebook. When they deleted my other Facebook, it deleted my access to the Auto Armor Facebook account. But you can give me a call, 601-260-0858 or autoarmorms.com. Hit the contact, and you can send me an email, and I'll send you back a quote. Or I prefer to talk to you and see your vehicle. That way, I can give you the best price, tell you how long it's going to take, set some realistic expectations for what your vehicle is going to look like when I get done, discuss budget with you, and all of that. All right. So with all that said, I got a tweet here on the Save Jackson Twitter feed. So the guy, this is I don't think he'll mind me putting his stuff out there. He's a good follow on Twitter. It's a Central MS News, pretty conservative guy. I don't know who runs it, but says, if you criticize Joe Biden, you must criticize Michael Guest. Y'all talk about his January 6th vote, but leave out Ukraine first, his support of bringing foreigners here to replace American jobs. Guest must be criticized at Joe Biden levels. Hey, you know what? I don't disagree with any of that, brother. I don't disagree with any of that. We're about 100 days into the Ukraine stuff, and I've yet to lift my butt off a seat once to stand for Ukraine. And I do know that he has sent a lot of money on there, and I'm anti that. Look, I'm just going to say it. I have wanted to try to be down the middle and throw balls and strikes here, not tell anybody who they should vote for. I'm voting for Cassidy today. And because Michael Guest isn't doing what I want to represent Mississippi. Now, Rankin County is great. He's doing a lot for Rankin County. And I think Rankin County is going to be fine regardless of who's there. My concern is America as a whole. You know, they keep telling me I need to stand for Ukraine and I need to worry about all these, we need to take care of these people coming across the border and all this stuff. They keep telling me that I'm supposed to care and have feelings and be worried about these people. Well, I'm worried about the people here in America. from Rankin County, Mississippi to hellscape Chicago. Something's got to change in America. We're going to have $5 gas here in a couple of weeks. I think right here in Flora, I'm looking out the window at the gas station. It's $4.49, I think. $4.42 or $4.49 a gallon. I'm kind of lying about looking out the window. If the blind wasn't closed, I could see it. But I saw it when I was coming in this morning. So, yeah. We got some issues going on here. All right, look, man. We got Derek here on the Matt Kike of Flowwood phone line. Hey, Derek, you're on there, brother.
Hey, good morning. A quick question. What do they send Ukraine? Was it $50 billion? If you're going to still give them military hardware anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
Hey, repeat that. I got a little feedback on you.
Why did we send Ukraine $50 billion and we're still giving them military hardware of ours as well?
Oh, because they're money laundering. I mean, that's all this is. All that's going to do is be spent back here. We're giving them money to spend with our war machine over here, our war profiteers, and then those kickbacks are just, you know what it is, man. It's a big circle.
Well, they're just trying to make up for the money they stole, by they said laundering money and trying to flip it to make it clean money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's all they're doing.
That's I believe a lot of it at the core is also to cover up the Joe and Hunter Biden stuff. People will say I'm crazy, but I'm sorry. Do I think they're that petty? Yes, I absolutely do.
And like I said, we've yet to know the extent of Hunter Biden's laptop, but I will tell the Black for a Living crowd there were reports of him and his racist emails in the company. So, why don't y'all ask Joe Biden to hold him accountable for that? That was a well-known story that all of a sudden disappeared from the media. Now they can prove it now they got his laptop, don't you think?
Absolutely. Man, yep. This is a clown show. And it's, what kills me, Derek? I said this yesterday when I had Michael Cassidy on here. What I want to see happen is I want to see Hunter Biden. I mean, I would love to see Joe and the rest of them, too, and I'm going to talk about this later. I want to see Hunter Biden doing the perp walk, the hottest new dance on the internet, doing the perp walk, perp walk. I want to see him in an orange jumpsuit, shackles and chains, doing the perp walk.
Yeah, he should have been doing the perp walk a long time ago because by all accounts, he's been nothing but a loser kid, And while Biden was, and this is another thing we need to add to these Black for a Living folks. While Biden was in support of the 3 strikes you're out law, his son was strung out on crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Now, he was targeting the drug dealers and drug users in the black community, but his son was the world's worst.
Yeah,
you don't hold him accountable.
What about the incident? I can't remember all the details off the top of my head. We ain't got to get into it here, but he's got that gun charge too, where he fired a gun near a school or something, and then it threw it in a dumpster at a school. It was something to do with a gun and him throwing it away.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on that, but that may have been one of his strung out episodes. We don't know. You know
sure.
What I mean?
I'm sure it was. It seems like every day is a strung out episode if you're Hunter Biden.
Yep. So, I just can't wait to see the house of cards fold on them. But like I said, when I go to the gas station, besides putting those little stickers on there that says I did that, when I hear somebody complain about the gas prices, I say, well, did you vote for Joe Biden? Did you vote for Democrat Biden? Yeah. I say, well, shut the you-know what up.
Heck yeah. All right, Derek, I appreciate you, brother.
Uh-huh.
All right. Real quick, when I opened the show, I said I was going to do a little bit of ridiculing for Pride Month, so I want to make sure that I do that. A little kind of kickback, a little slap back in the face there. The Devil Rays. We've got some players on the Devil Rays, the baseball team. Tampa does have a team. Y'all may not be aware of that. Most people aren't. The people that live there are not aware of it. But they were going to make them wear gay pride patches on their uniforms. 5 players opted out. Said, no, it's against my Christian beliefs, and they didn't do it. Well, of course, they're being ridiculed to the high heavens and called bigots and, all that fun stuff. But it got me to thinking, and none of that's surprising, right? We know that's how the left rolls. The second you kick back it's bigot, homophobe, racist, blah, 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 blah. All the alphabet soup isms. But what if they've tried to make all their players wear the Christian shield, the Christian flag? And where would the media come in on that? Oh my God, the violation of their religious rights. Oh, man, you know what it would be. That's why you can't take any of this serious. It's clown world. Absolute clown world. All right, we got another caller here on the Matt Kike of Flowwood phone line. Hey, caller, you're on there.
Hey, guys. I just want to give y'all a little high five or whatever. I called Super Talk this morning and asked them a question. They wouldn't even put me on the air. They just hung up on me. At least y'all take questions, either they're dumb or good or bad.
Oh, yeah, man, hey, I've learned one thing. There's no dumb questions. If you don't know the answer to something, it's not a dumb question.
Well, let me tell you the same question I asked them that they hung up on me on. What gives the United States the authority to go to a different country and seize the airplane or ship?
I'm guessing nothing. We're just stealing it.
Exactly. You're just taking it. And I don't know how you can actually, if you're going to take it, you got to have some sort of force to go there and take something. It takes force to take something. So we're going to a different country with force and taking something. I don't know how that's not an act of war.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the Russian oligarchs, big yachts and stuff.
Yeah, there's yachts and there's ships and their boats and their planes and everything else.
And bragging about it like we just took your stuff.
Yeah,
I find that very strange too. I mean, with the braggadocio. I mean, these guys made their money. I mean, it wasn't a problem till Putin went into Ukraine. Well, why wasn't it a problem till then? It's like now you're going to punish them for him. It just don't make sense to me. I don't get it. I don't support any of this nonsense.
They're beating their chest, and they're saying, "Come on, come on, come on." And here's the problem: it's not me, it's not you, it's not the listeners that are saying, "Come on." We're over here going, I'm just trying to grow my tomatoes. If they provoke what they were trying to do, you're just going to be sitting there raking your leaves, and next thing you know, the sky's going to turn red. It ain't, and it has nothing to do with us.
No. Yeah, man. It's about. This is only going to get worse before it gets better.
All right. Have a great show.
You too, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, I will not hang up on people here. I mean, unless you just get to hollering and cussing at me. That's the only reason I'm going to hang up. So we appreciate you calling in. All right, we're going to take a break real quick. You're listening to the Clay Edwards Show. When I come back, we'll have Lauren Smith. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by Complete Exteriors Roofing and Gutters. Complete Exteriors Roofing and Gutters in Pearl wants to help you determine who to use when you are seeking roof repair or work on your gutters. You need to choose a qualified, certified company that has a local brick and mortar building. These guys are located right there in Pearl on 80, on top of the hill across from the old Big Tent. It's now Rick's Pro Truck. Boom, right there. Pass by them every day. Right in between Airport Road and Cross Gates Boulevard there on 80. You need a company that has been in business for longer than 2 years. You need a company that offers a warranty. And Complete Exteriors has a 4.9 Google review after being in business over 16 years. Guys, a 4.9 Google review is as close as it gets to 5-star because nobody's going to have a perfect. So that 4.9 after 16 years, that's a lot of roofs. That's a lot of reviews. That says a lot. Because typically people only go to the reviews when they're mad about something. Complete Exteriors Roofing and Gutters can provide you with a professional and honest look at your roof and gutters. Complete Exteriors, quality without compromise. When you want someone you can trust, contact CompleteExteriorsMS.com. All right, on the Matt Kike of Flowwood phone line, I've got Miss Lauren Smith. Lauren, you there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. What's the weather like up there in North Mississippi?
Muggy, but it's not too bad. We're looking at like high 80s-ish, but muggy nonetheless.
It was miserable here yesterday. I had to wash a couple cars outside and get them ready to do some work on. And one of them was a F-350, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. A massive black jacked up F-350 that I'm out here in the sun just baking. You can wash one panel at a time, and the sun will dry it, and I got sunburned out there messing with that thing. Hey,
I can only imagine. It's that time of year. It is officially upon us. We had like a 3-week long spring. It was just short-lived as always, and we're right here into summer.
I hate June. It's nothing but rainbows and humidity.
Oh my Lord! Yes, I'm so tired of the inundation of rainbows. Something that was meant to be a sign of promise, a sign of true, genuine rebirth after the flood that has been taken and just so perverted, and it's really sad. It's so sad.
I mean, look, I've never seen a rainbow with a brown stripe in it either, by the way.
Yes. Where did the brown come from? Like, that's not on the spectrum when you see a rainbow. I don't know where that came from. Of course, I'm sure BLM had something to do with that, and we needed to put brown in there because, you know, the spectrum wasn't good enough by itself.
Well, I think it represents Obama because he was the first gay president also. So when he lit the White House up as a rainbow, they honored him by adding the brown to it.
Oh, well, I mean that makes sense.
Well, that's where I'm at.
Makes total sense. We're just going to go with it.
All right. So you remember about 10 years ago when we all woke up one morning with our iPhones and it had a god awful U2 album on it?
Oh my Lord! Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So there's nothing I hate worse than something I don't co-sign on being shoved into my phone. Unsolicited phone calls, spam, U2 albums, and Yelp, assuming that I want to know where all the gay-owned businesses are.
See, I didn't get that one. I saw where you posted that on Facebook. I didn't get that one, thank God. But I saw that.
Maybe, maybe. Let me throw this out there. Maybe y'all don't have any gay-owned businesses in North Mississippi. But I live in Jackson, and they're looking at the map here. They're all right along the 55 corridor.
Oh, right. Well, I don't know if anybody publicizes that or not on Yelp. I have no idea. But, you know, I told you I had a story about the whole trans and homosexual, all the
child grooming stuff and all that.
LGBTQ, LMNOP movement. So, yes. So, and I believe I've kind of alluded to this story before, and I'll kind of make it quick, but like my son is in 6th grade. My son comes home from school this past year during the school year and is telling me about how he had to go toe-to-toe with this girl accusing him of being homophobic and all this kind of stuff because she was, I mean, we're talking about an 11-year-old girl. An 11-year-old girl attacking my son because he does not agree with transgender, and apparently there's one called pansexual. You know, my 11-year-old son is having to defend his stance on why he's not okay with it. So she's saying, "Oh, so you're homophobic, you're transphobic," and he's like, you know, I'm not really sure what all that stuff means, but you would be correct. I mean, he said it just like that because he's having to defend his stance on why he's not okay with transsexual, homosexual, and pansexual and everything else, you know. And of course, my son being my son, he's like, is the pansexual the non-stick kind? I mean, he's witty like that, but I mean, it's so sad. It's so sad that our children at 11 years old are having to defend their stances on being straight. You know, heaven forbid we actually carry out the way that nature was intended to be, one man and one woman. You know, we've got to throw all the alphabet soups in there and everything. But it's literally an attack on our children. It's an attack, and they're not even hiding it. So, it's a blatant attack.
Okay, so for those that are following and don't know what pansexual is, because neither do I'm sure it's some kind of gay, bi, queer term. So I just Google what is pansexual, and of course they have all the glossary of terms in alphabetical order. So you got to go about 20 other psychopath descriptions down to get to it. But here is what pansexual is according to hrc.org. Pansexual describes someone who has the potential for emotional, romantic, or sexual attraction to people of any gender, though not necessarily simultaneously, in the same way or to the same degree, sometimes used interchangeably with bisexual. That is a lot of words to say bi. Maybe bi. I have gay thoughts, but I haven't actually been gay. I mean, what? I'm pansexual? Man,
Yes.
pour some
an
grease in that
11-year-old
pan.
girl at this. An 11-year-old girl in my son's class talking about this. I mean, how crazy.
They even have the Q, one of the Qs stands for questioning. In the gay LGBTQ LMNOP world, questioning, a term used to describe people who are in the process of exploring their sexual orientation. Same gender loving, wouldn't that be gay? But let's see what this says. A term some prefer to use instead of lesbian, gay, or bisexual to express attraction to, or I can't do this anymore. I can't do this.
We're just going to stop that.
Gonna ruin. They have infiltrated my frontal lobe here. I cannot do this.
Well, I believe I've talked about it. Also, this book that is amazing. I highly recommend it. It's called The Rise and Triumph of the Modern Self. You want to talk about a playbook of cancel culture? It is their playbook. It is literally everything spelled out about why they have gone about in the manner that they have.
Hey, hold on. Tell us the name of that book again.
The Rise and Triumph of Modern Self. It's a phenomenal book. Phenomenal. And the reason why is because it spells out the reasoning of why we're in the state that we're in, because we have groomed entire generations to feel like they need validation because they cannot even self-validate. They cannot even be the author of original thoughts. They cannot be okay with who they might be or who they think they might be, so they need the world to validate them. And if the world doesn't validate them, then we need to kill that thought. So if you disagree with their thought, we need to kill yours. I'm telling you, it is the play-by-play of cancel culture and Marxism and why we're heading in the direction that we are. And the best part about the book is it even tells you the end game of like where it's going to end. So if you know how to battle your enemy, you can help counter the maneuvers and be more proactive.
Oh, look, learn your enemy. I was on one of these gay websites the other night, learning the history of the whole of Pride Month and the Pride movement and the Stonewall riots. Know the enemy. Mm-hmm. Know where they're coming from. But hey,
that's exactly right.
Lauren, we're going to take a break real quick. Hold that thought and tell us how the book ends when we come back. You're listening to the Clay Edwards Show, joined by Lauren Smith right here on 103.9 WYAB. Show, the free-range human show of choice, the voice of the voiceless, your daily dose of reality radio. That is the Clay Edwards Show. Real quick, before we get back to Miss Lauren Smith, I'll tell you what, we'll just jump on back to Lauren. I will read y'all an ad in the next hour. Lauren, you there?
I'm here.
All right, so we've got Lauren Smith on the Mac Hike of Flowood phone line. Lauren, we got about 2 minutes to end this hour. Then we'll have our top of the hour news break. We'll come back for another segment. But real quick, on the pick up where we left off on your book. So the rise, and not your book, but the book you were recommended to us, the rise and triumph of the modern self. How does it end?
So it talks primarily about the end game being the total annihilation of original thought, the total that they want to completely, and we see it right now, but it's going to eventually come to the point, if we don't fight back, if we don't push back and say no, if we don't fight this agenda, of our children being subjected to nothing but whatever they're told will be their reality. Whatever the agenda is, whatever the message is that the man, so to speak, is pushing, that is what it will be. And it's going to eventually just erode original thought. That's the gist of it. There's a lot of minutia, but what we're pushing back against and what we're fighting is exactly what we have to do. Saying no, not going along to get along, and saying we're standing up. We're not going to take this anymore. No more compromises. It's
like we're not allowed to just say, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not I'm not flying your flag. It's like the Tampa Bay Devil Rays players who say they're not putting the gay flag patch on their uniform for Pride Month. It's against their religion. I'm not going along to get along. I'm not doing it anymore. You know,
right.
I don't care if I never get invited to another hobnob, crawfish bowl, or anything else. I am not going along to get along. I've made it 44 years with a very tight circle of friends, and if I die with that same tight circle of friends, I'm better off than I would be with a bunch of fake friends. All right, Lauren, we're going to take our top of the hour news break. Sit on hold for me for a few minutes, and we'll be right back.
Sure. Thanks.
The Clay Edwards Show. Strap in, not strap on. Here on 103.9 WYAB. The segment is brought to you by Raymond Farmers Market. They're open every Tuesday through Sunday, located right there in Raymond, Mississippi at 205 Hines Boulevard. Let me make that easy for you guys. That's right across the street from Hines Community College. You'll find it. Trust me. Tonight, open menu. They've got all the available menu items. I recommend the ribeye steak sandwich. It's a 9-ounce ribeye between a bun. Let's just be honest. Does it get any better than that? They also have a wide selection of burgers, sandwiches, chicken wings, hand-battered, homemade, fresh, genuine Mississippi vegetables that they create their sides with. So if you get fried pickles, the fresh pickles, fried green tomatoes are legit the best tomato I've ever had in my life. You can check them out online, RaymondFarmersMarket.com. Or call for reservations, 601-909-8500. Or just go to Facebook and type in Raymond Farmers Market. Boom, it's all there. Pictures, everything. You will not be disappointed. Actually, you'll be very hungry. You'll be disappointed that you're not there. All right, with that said, back to the Matt Kike of Flowwood phone line. We've got Miss Lauren Smith there. Hey, Lauren, you still there?
I'm here.
All right, so I want to circle back Jen Psaki style. You know, I never... I don't believe these words are about to come out of my mouth. Speaking of Jen Psaki, I didn't think I would actually miss her. But this new White House spokesperson is about as articulate as I am. She's terrible.
Well, I haven't seen her. I didn't even watch Jen. So, the only thing I ever saw of her was just memes of the absurd things that she was repeating of Joe Biden.
You mean to tell me you haven't seen the first gay black women's White House spokesperson?
No, I haven't.
I mean, it's like her whole personality. I mean, it's what she's like, I am the first gay black woman to have this job. Could we please, for the love of everything holy, which I know asking for anything holy out of this group is not happening, but could we please quit referring to somebody as the first this, first that? Can't you just be, I'm the most recently qualified, best qualified person for this job? I got it because I worked my butt off.
Yes, because it goes back to what I was talking about in that book. People no longer have the ability to validate themselves, so they have to look to the world to validate them because they don't have God in their life. We live in a godless society. We've taken God out of every aspect of our life, and we no longer have validation in ourselves. And because of Christ's righteousness, we have to look to the world to say, you know what, good job. You are this, you are X, Y, and Z, and you're the first one to ever be a gay woman and a black woman. Why can't we just be people? You're a person.
And why can't these...
sexuality doesn't have to define you.
See, and why can't these oppression Olympic participants just pick one thing to be the first at? Because now there can't be there can't be another gay first or another black first. Now she hogged up two first.
Yeah.
It was like Kamala Harris got on there. She's like, I'm the first half black woman. I'm the first half Asian woman or whatever other all she claims to be mixed with. I'm like, first off, there can only be two halves. I mean, that's like when people say a couple and there's three or four. I'm like, no, a couple is two.
Right.
At least maybe in Utah it's different, but in Mississippi, a couple is two.
That's right. And it is. So let's talk about that for just 1 second.
Sure.
So the Democrat Party, the Democrats pushing all of this agenda, And we look at it at a national level, right? We look at it at a macroscopic 10,000-foot view, and we see everything happening. I was watching the news this morning, and they were talking on the Today Show about Republicans and Democrats may come to an agreement for gun control this week. The hell you say? They're not coming to any agreement on my behalf, but I want to talk about that for a second. This is why it's so important when people go to the polls today to understand what they're going to be doing. So we're electing the primaries for the federal level for Congress, right? But we have our own problems right here in Mississippi. You don't even have to go as far as D.C. to find a swamp. You've got your very own right in your backyard in Jackson, Mississippi. So with that being said, this is why it's so important to push back against the Democrat agenda, not only at the federal level, but at the state level, because until you secure the state, you can't fight the bolus of crap rolling downhill from Washington, D.C., because you have the ability to stop the federal government at the state level. Absolutely. You have that ability. Hey. That's why next year is going to be so important for the statewide elections.
Lauren, we got another caller here. Let's pull them into the conversation and see what they got to say on the Matt Hike of Flowwood phone line. Hey, caller, you're on the air with us.
Hey, I just say this right here. If they talk about fairness and all this type of stuff with the transgenders competing in women's sports, I've yet to see a woman that so-called transitioned to a man play a man's sport. I wonder if they're going to make the same equality argument when you see somebody like Floyd Mayweather level boxing and beating the crap out of a female that thinks she's a male. I wonder if they're going to have the same acceptance of that. Have you noticed that, Clay?
Oh, absolutely. This only goes one way. It's an attack on womanhood, and I'm just disappointed in a lot of the same women who get out there and holler "Me Too" and believe all women and feminism and all this stuff, that they're accepting of this. I mean, it's decapitated that entire movement. I can never take nothing they say serious moving forward.
Well, again, like I said, you got these guys that put on a dress and a wig and beating the crap out of these females in their sports. But I've yet to see a female that thinks there's a man get in the ring or get on the football field. I've yet to see that yet, and they talk about equality.
Well, there have been the other version of that. There have been transgender MMA fighters get in with women and beat the brakes off of them. Yeah, so it's kind of the same thing, but backwards. Yeah.
I want to see the women that become men get in there and fight a man.
Yep.
And I'm going to see if they're going to be so self-righteous then.
Yep. All right, Derek. Appreciate it, brother. All right, Lauren, you there?
I'm here. Right. I don't think you'll ever see that. I think because women who do decide they want to become a man and have all of their women bits lobbed off and then things inserted and everything like that, I don't believe you'll see that. I don't believe that because they know deep down they will get their tails handed to them.
Well, I think also you'll never see it because you're not going to find a man. We'll stick to combat sports here, boxing, MMA, whatnot. You're not going to find a normal man with a warrior spirit like that is willing to beat the crap out of a woman. I'm not saying that you don't get some that have domestic violence stuff and all that. Yeah, what comes out of it?
Nothing. You beat a woman. Good freaking job. That's great, bud.
Now, what I think you'll end up seeing is somebody that was a man that cut the wang off and then turns into a trans woman and goes back and fights a man. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think you'll see that. All right, we got another call here coming through. Let's answer. Let's get them on the line. Hey, caller, you're on there.
I just wanted to call because I keep hearing all this stuff about men and women's teams and everything. It looks like to me
You there? It looks like what? Oh, I hate that. It sounds like he was going somewhere good with that. Lauren, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I hate he got cut off.
I mean, he was going somewhere with that, and I wanted to hear it. Call us back, man. You cut out on us there. But yeah, I think that what you'll end up seeing, do they call it a trans woman? I don't even keep up with these definitions. If you were a guy and you are pretending to be a woman, are you a trans woman now, or you circle back to being a trans man? It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see a guy that cuts it off and thinks he's a woman go back and fight a man, and he may just find a weak enough man that he wins, and then they'll say the trans woman defeats a man in a man's sport, and it'll be this glorious moment for women's rights when you had to recruit a guy to be a woman, to beat a man. My brain is melting as I say all this out loud.
It's sad. It's a sad day that we live in because we no longer can just be men and women. You have to have 18 definitions around it.
All right, Lauren, I got about 3 minutes left with you, and I got to get to my next guest. But real quick, you're getting everybody activated and motivated up there in Tupelo. You said it's time to bring conservatives back home and get back to the definition of what a conservative is. When is y'all's next big event up there in Tupelo?
Yes, so we're going to have one June 30th at 5:30 at the American Legion. We're going to be posting flyers about it, so people that want to get involved with it, you can go to, I have 2 pages. One of them is the Prime page. If you type in the @ symbol and then type The Red Patriot MS, The Red Patriot MS, or you can find me on Lauren Smith for Mississippi. Either one of those will direct you towards all of my content, and I'll be posting flyers. But what we're doing is we're holding an event. Senator Chris McDaniel is going to be the keynote speaker. What my purpose is and what we're wanting to do, everybody wants to call themselves a conservative. Everybody wants to throw around the word and bastardize it. It is so watered down now. You can't even tell where the lines are anymore. We're redefining that. We are bringing people back together. Everybody wants to be called a conservative until it's time to vote like a conservative. And we can blast those voting records of all those state senators and state representatives all day long and show you how they are not conservatives. So 5:30 on June 30th at the American Legion in Tupelo, we're going to be having an event. I highly recommend people that want to come, please do. It's an open event, no cost to get in. We're going to have Senator Chris McDaniel speaking about this because it's so important as we get geared up for elections next year, for statewide elections, that we really put conservatives, real ones, back in office. And we need a definition and a heading to do that, and that's what we're going to be doing.
Well, look, man, we're proud of you guys. I'm glad to know that North Mississippi is in good hands. I know we've got a great crew down here in Central Mississippi fighting the good fight as freedom fighters, and it's good to know we got it up there. I know the coast has got its share too. So Mississippi's in good hands moving forward. We just got to we just got to get some people in there that have the same value. Get enough of the people in there that have the same values as we do, and next year is going to be a big year down here. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready. I got my boxing gloves on.
Amen. Amen to that. Thank you so much for having me on this morning, Clay.
Hey, thank you. And look, we'll announce it now. We haven't confirmed it, but I think we're going to start having Lauren on at least once a week to keep us up to date with what's going on in her neck of the woods and just to chop it up like we did today, man. I really enjoy the conversation. So, Lauren, thank you for getting up and chopping it up with us this morning.
Thank you. It's always a good time. Have a good day, brother.
You too. Peace. All right, man. Lauren Smith, she is I'm telling you, man, we have got some, where the Democrats messed up. Where the Democrats messed up is they rattled the cage of the mama bears. And now we got women like Lauren Smith and a whole host of them here with the Madison County mamas, the Rankin County mamas, a whole host of them activated and mad as a hornet. And that was the worst mistake they could have made, was upsetting the suburban mama. And it's done now. It's too late, Hoss. Some things you can't take back. Some things you can't put back in the bag. All right, man, you're listening to the Clay Edwards Show. When we come back, I'm going to have Mr. Hardy Case come on with us and discuss what's going on in the world of medical cannabis. And me and Hardy will chop it up about some other stuff, too. It ain't going to just be about cannabis. You're listening to the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.